Hi, this is Cezanne and this is part 4 of my series, The Story Behind the Book. Instead of telling it in chronological order, I'm just going to share my journey which led me to meeting the goddess face to face, because it's only looking back I'm able to join the dots. First of all, this isn't a rags to riches story, at least not yet, anyway. It's my spiritual journey which led me to remember who I am and to meet the goddess, my higher self. When I published the first edition of my novel in 2012, I hadn't yet met the goddess, but I was definitely on the path. Year 4 was titled Finding Herself with a capital S, which is all about going within and connecting with your source or higher self. It features my poem song, I Am What I Will to Be, which is about the creative power of our I am statements.
I am are the two most powerful words in the universe, because anything following I am is creative, whether it is positive or negative. So by using positive affirmations starting with I am, you can steer yourself in the way you wish to go. A positive affirmation is a strong statement that something is already so.
There's even a section titled The Goddess Theory. When I painted Blue Lotus in 2010 and used it to illustrate Year 4, I had no idea that it relates to Year 4 also features my poem song, Conversations Within, which is a conversation with my higher self. I'll put a link to me performing it live below, or go to the playlist, Poems That Feature in Journey of a Sister. After all these years, I still have so many questions like, who was I sitting having conversations with back in the day as a Christian? Was it God, the goddess, my higher self, or all three? But at the time, it appeared to be male, in line with my Christian beliefs. But the fearless letter I channeled in 2001 started me on a new path of truth, which eventually led me to the goddess, our heavenly mother. In 2022, I collaborated with conscious rapper E Marvelous on a track titled Astral Projection. My part was about astral projecting into the womb of the cosmic mother. Later that year, in 2022, while channeling a blog a day for Black His Story Month, I did astral project into the womb of the Divine Mother. It was pitch black, but somehow I knew that's where I was. And that's where I met the ancestral mothers for the first time. They told me they'd channeled that fearless letter to God through me in 2001, and that they had to make me forget, because I was still a Christian at the time and was suffering from cognitive dissonance. They said if they'd told me about the goddess at that point, I wouldn't have been able to accept the truth because of my religious indoctrination. I finally discovered that it was them I'd been channeling since I'd opened myself up as a channel for the great creator to create through when I was working with the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. While I was in the womb of the great cosmic mother, I just kept repeating, "Oh my goddess!" And that became the title of Day 13's blog. The number 13 relates to the divine feminine, which was removed from the Godhead, demonized and demoted by patriarchal religions. Is it any wonder why Friday the 13th has been demonized? On day 13 of my Black History vlog series, I channeled a message from the ancestral mothers. When you remember who you are, game over. Even though I was taken into her womb in 2022, it still came as a big shock when the goddess emerged from out of my Flower of Life painting in January 2024. Leading up to my vision, in 2023, I painted the Sri Yantra with blue lotus petals. That same year, I started studying sacred geometry and painted the Flower of Life. I came across an ancient meditation technique called raising the Christ oil, or Sacred SECRETion, which activates your pineal gland, causing you to have visions naturally. I was using my Flower of Life painting as a focal point while practicing this technique. It took months for me to get it right, but when I finally did, I had a vision of the goddess emerging from out of it. Now, this sacred secretion technique is literally based on this Jesus character. Or more likely, he's based on this technique. For instance, he died aged 33. There are 33 vertebrae in your spine, where the sacred Christ oil runs down. Jesus died in a place called Golgotha, which translates to skull. The place of the skull is exactly where the pineal gland secretes this Christ oil from. Jesus was crucified on a cross. The real crucifixion takes place when the oil is raised back up and reaches the cross at your shoulders. Instead of dying, millions of brain cells are resurrected and the natural DMT in your brain is activated, causing you to have visions naturally. I'm still processing everything that's happened since having my vision, and doing this series is helping me join the dots. After publishing my video, Meet Our Divine Mother Goddess, I spent 7 weeks in Egypt where I came across the original Divine Mother and Child with the Flower of Life. I had 7 weeks of mental clarity and recorded my Her Story series. I'll put the link to it below. Just before leaving Egypt, I was intuitively led to start the Path to the Goddess online course. But when I returned, the frequency war began again, forcing me to end the course early. But you can still go on the journey and quantum jump into your higher self. It includes a calabash ritual to heal our maternal lineage, which was severed when patriarchal religions were put in place. And it leads all the way back to, yes, our Divine Mother. Everything I discovered after asking God for the truth, I shared in this beautiful Black love story. Like, for instance, the benefits of melanin and the beauty of dark skin, and how the spirals in our natural hair act like an antenna to help us communicate with the cosmos and nature. And the Eve gene, mitochondrial DNA, which makes the Black woman the mother of all nations. When I met the goddess, she was made up entirely of melanin, the same thing we have in our skin. The darker your skin, the more melanin you have. The universe, also known as infinite intelligence, is feminine. It's just one big black womb. As I showed you in part 3, the Vesica Pisces, which represents Jesus' ministry, is the beginning sequence of the flower of life. It literally represents the yoni of the cosmic mother. The goddess didn't just emerge from out of the flower of life, she is the flower of life. Early Christian art depicts Jesus emerging from the Vesica Pisces. Day 4 of my Black History 365 series is titled Jesus and His Divine Mother. Game over. While we were given a white saviour, the Pope can be seen worshipping the Black Madonna and Child. Did they create this false white saviour image in order to usurp the position of the melanin-rich woman, who is a physical representation of the goddess here on earth? Did this Jesus character ever walk the earth? In 2023, I intuitively created these fictional characters to expand on the topics raised in my novel. Christina, an ex-Christian, had just begun to remember who she is. I only did 2 videos of her before I didn't have to do them anymore. One was about being a goddess, and the other was titled Believe in Yourself, with a capital S.
Well, the church is in my house. Yes, I put on my gospel music and I dance like David danced.
You've had your wool pulled over your eyes for long enough. It's time to come out of your sleep and remember who you are. God in the flesh, pure God consciousness, the same as the great I am, at one with nature. You are naturally godlike.
The following year, I met the goddess face to face. And that's been my journey. But it didn't come without opposition. It's a game after all. You may as well call the path to the goddess the narrow way, because I don't see many of our people taking it, especially the men who prefer to uphold these patriarchal religions because it benefits them. So I was already on my path to the goddess when I wrote my novel, which is why my poetry and art illustrate it perfectly. But I still have questions like, who was I talking to when I used to have conversations with God in my bedroom as a Christian? Was it God, the goddess, my higher self, or all three? So where am I now on the journey? I'm not lost. I'm just at an uncomfortable stage in my life where my old self is gone and my new self isn't fully born yet. After I remembered who I am, I wrote to the Church of England claiming my reparations and advised others in my community to do the same. I'm demanding reparations for being brainwashed into the Christian religion, which was passed down to me from the plantations. I'm claiming for childhood and ancestral trauma that I've had to spend years healing from. I'm claiming my stolen inheritance as the descendant of royalty who were enslaved, and for the 400 years of free labour that enabled Britain to build its empire. The Church of England were among the enslavers who received compensation when slavery was abolished. They have a fund of over £10 billion which they have accumulated over the years that we should be claiming from. Reparations includes land, gold and stolen African artifacts held in the British Museum and private collections. When we receive our reparations, we will return to our motherland, build villages and rebuild our communities for the sake of future generations. Because, as the ancestral mothers said, you cannot heal in the same place that made you sick. So if this resonates with you, go to my Claim Your Reparations Now collection on my Patreon and learn how to do the Ho'oponopono calabash ritual to heal our maternal lineage. The calabash represents the womb of our great cosmic mother. Use it to perform your calabash ritual and download my Ho'oponopono meditation to focus on healing our maternal lineage, which goes right back to our divine mother. As I recite the Ho'oponopono healing prayer, repeat the 4 key mantras with me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And remember to forgive yourself. Forgiving doesn't mean turning the other cheek. Justice is being served using cosmic laws. Preferably, perform your calabash ritual at your altar or in nature. I'll put the link below for full details.
I say during my day the key words of Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you.